You guys, we need to talk about Colleen Ballinger, because what just happened is absolutely wild. I'm talking full-on internet meltdown, people losing their minds on every platform, and Colleen at the center of it all. So buckle up, because this one's a ride. Colleen Ballinger, the YouTuber formerly known as Miranda Sings, just did something that has the entire internet up in arms. She decided to film her reaction to Taylor Swift's new album, and specifically, she got emotional while listening to a track called Cancelled. Now, when I say emotional, I mean her eyes were getting glossy, she was visibly affected, and she straight up said on camera that she relates to this song. And let me tell you, the internet collectively lost it. People were not here for this moment at all. The clip went absolutely viral across Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, and Threads. Everyone was talking about it, and not in a good way. Because here's the thing, this wasn't just your average reaction to a Taylor Swift song. This was Colleen Ballinger, someone who spent the last few years being dragged online for one of the most serious creator scandals we've seen. And the timing of her posting this? People felt it was tone-deaf at best and manipulative at worst. If you somehow managed to miss the whole Colleen Ballinger mess, let me catch you up real quick. She went from beloved YouTuber and Netflix star who even performed on Broadway to one of the most talked-about creator cancellations in recent memory. And we're not talking about a she tweeted something problematic kind of cancellation. The allegations against her were serious. Former fans came forward with stories about Colleen crossing boundaries, making them uncomfortable, and fostering inappropriate parasocial relationships, especially with minors. There were jokes and content that people just couldn't believe she had put out on the internet. The stories were disturbing, and people were rightfully upset. Fans who had grown up watching her content suddenly realized that the person they looked up to had been behaving inappropriately behind the scenes. Some of these fans shared screenshots, videos, and detailed accounts of their interactions with Colleen that painted a very troubling picture. And instead of issuing a genuine apology or taking any real accountability, Colleen responded in the most bizarre way possible. It was a response that honestly made everyone question whether she understood the gravity of what she was being accused of. She literally grabbed a ukulele and sang a song. I'm not kidding. She released a video where she performed a song called Toxic Gossip Train, and people felt like she was making a complete mockery of the serious allegations against her. There was no real apology, no accountability, just her singing and deflecting. In the song, she seemed to dismiss the allegations as gossip and drama rather than addressing the legitimate concerns that former fans had raised. The video basically became a blueprint for how not to handle a scandal, and it made everything so much worse. People were stunned that this was her response to such serious allegations. It felt like she was treating the whole thing as a joke, like it was just another piece of content for her channel, rather than a moment that required genuine reflection and accountability. She was dropped from her tour, her audience lost massive amounts of trust in her, and her reputation has never recovered. So when Colleen, without ever really apologizing in most people's eyes, decided to film herself getting emotional to a song called Cancelled, and saying she relates to it, yeah, that did not go over well, like at all. People saw it as her trying to position herself as a victim, when many felt she was actually the one who had caused harm. Since her cancellation, Colleen did return to vlogging and sharing bits of her life online, but she hasn't been getting anywhere near the traction she used to. Her views are way down, engagement is minimal, and most people just aren't paying attention to her content anymore. The comment sections on her videos are often filled with people reminding her of what happened, asking for a real apology, or just expressing their disappointment. So maybe she thought nobody would really notice this reaction video. Like maybe she figured people had moved on and weren't watching her stuff closely anymore. Or maybe she thought enough time had passed that she could start relating to songs about being cancelled without major backlash. But oh man, they noticed. And they noticed immediately. I think people were genuinely shocked to hear her say on camera that she felt this song was for her. The audacity of it all was just too much for the internet to handle, and the clip went viral immediately. And when I say viral, I mean it was everywhere. People were sharing it left and right, posting about it constantly, and the reactions were brutal. Most people were even saying they didn't want to give her the view, so they were just sharing the same clips over and over again. Let me read you some of the things people were saying. One person tweeted, "Colleen Ballinger filming herself crying while listening to that cancelled song? A hell no." Another said, "I was scrolling Reddit and saw the video of Colleen Ballinger crying to the song Cancelled. The entire experience was awful. 0 out of 10. Do not recommend." Someone else wrote, "Just saw a clip of Colleen Ballinger crying listening to Cancelled for the first time. I'm so glad Colleen Ballinger has me blocked." And then this one really sums up how people felt. In what world are you crying while listening to Cancelled when you got exposed for being a groomer? You're not cancelled. You need jail. Jesus Christ. People were not holding back at all. The outrage was immediate and intense, and it just kept building as more people saw the video. What started as a few people commenting on it turned into a full-blown conversation about accountability, about what it means to be cancelled, and about whether certain people deserve redemption. Now let me tell you about what was actually happening in the video. Most of it is just Colleen sitting there, consuming the lyrics as Taylor Swift sings them. The song goes, "Did you girl boss too close to the sun? Did they catch you having far too much fun? Good thing I like my friends cancelled. I like them cloaked in Gucci and in scandal." As she's listening, you can see her eyes getting glossier. Taylor continues with lines like, "At least you know exactly who your friends are. They're the ones with matching scars. It's easy to love you when you're popular. The optics click. Everyone prospers, but one single drop, you're off the roster." And Colleen is just sitting there, clearly connecting with these words in a way that made everyone watching deeply uncomfortable. The song also includes the lyrics, "Did you make a joke only a man could? Were you just too smug for your own good? Or bring a tiny violin into a knife fight?" And people couldn't help but notice that tiny violin line felt particularly relevant given Colleen's ukulele apology. The whole thing felt like she was seeing herself in these lyrics when, according to most of the internet, she had no right to. Throughout the video, Colleen made several comments that really didn't help her case. She said things like, "Oh no, the next one's cancelled. This song's about me. I don't want to hear this one. I'm scared." Then she tried to deflect, asking, "Who is this about? Is this about Blake Lively or something?" Trying to think who she's friends with that's been cancelled. At the end, she just said, "Brutal. That wasn't what I was expecting for that song. I'm going to move on and not say things." The reactions to this kept pouring in. People were making jokes and comparisons, saying things like Ned Fulmer would love this song too, referencing another creator who faced their own scandal involving infidelity. Someone said, "The side smile she's giving half the song is killing me. She's literally the target audience." But the difference is, people felt Colleen shouldn't be the target audience for this song, given the nature of her allegations. Another person pointed out, "Saw more tears in this video than I did in her Toxic Gossip Train one. Legit the least cryable song on the album." This comment really highlighted how people felt she was performing emotion rather than genuinely feeling remorseful about what had happened. Others mentioned that Shane Dawson and Ryland Adams would probably also relate to this song, which wasn't exactly a compliment given their own controversial histories. But the most pointed comments were the ones reminding everyone why Colleen was cancelled in the first place. One person wrote, "This song is not for you. You literally groomed children. Stop trying to be relatable in any sense. You're a weirdo." These comments consistently emphasized that there's a difference between being cancelled for something relatively minor and being cancelled for serious allegations involving minors. Some people had theories about why Colleen even posted this. One commenter said, "Colleen Ballinger crying to Cancelled is making me think that she is trying to get noticed by Taylor Swift so that she's like, I relate to this so much, and Taylor Swift's like, yo, jump on the remix." The idea being that Colleen might be hoping for some kind of validation or cosign from Taylor that would help rehabilitate her image. Someone else joked about what would happen if Colleen actually got a verse. She pulls out the ukulele. She's like, "I'm cancelled. They cancelled me. I'm a groomer, just a loser. Whatever. Freak, freak." The mockery was relentless, but it also highlighted how seriously people took her original allegations and how unwilling they were to let her play the victim. But this comment really hit hard. If I ever released a song and Colleen Ballinger heard it and started crying and celebrating because she felt so seen by it and so understood, I would rip that off of all streaming services immediately. It'd be like that song never even existed. You mean to tell me that Colleen, singer of Toxic Gossip Train, whose apology video was sung to ukulele when the allegations were about minors, liked my song, felt seen and understood by my song? Pack it up. People who were defending Taylor Swift's album suddenly found themselves in an awkward position. One person said, "If I was still trying to defend this album and then I saw Colleen's video, I'm not really sure what the defense is that Taylor isn't changing her brand and who she's catering music to. How do you defend that? Because of all people, Colleen? Really?" They continued. "It's not Taylor's fault that Colleen likes it, but the fact that she feels seen by that is concerning. I guess the only thing worse than Colleen would be like J.K. Rowling or something. I'd be so embarrassed." This speaks to a larger conversation about who gets to claim victimhood and whether all cancelled people are created equal. Another comment summarized it perfectly. Canceled by Taylor Swift is for the girlies who got canceled for talking to underage children and overall just being terrible people, and then went on YouTube with her ukulele to try to make an apology video. Looking at you, Colleen. The frustration in these comments was palpable because people felt like Colleen was trying to lump herself in with people who were canceled for far less serious reasons. The whole thing turned into a massive mess for Colleen. She had to have known people might pick up on this, right? I mean, anytime she even slightly mentions her cancellation, people are paying attention and wondering what she's going to say. But it's never what people actually want to hear, which is a genuine apology and real accountability. Instead, it's always these indirect references or attempts to relate to other canceled figures without actually addressing what she did. This whole situation backfired spectacularly and just reminded everyone why they stopped watching her in the first place. It brought all those old feelings back to the surface, memories of the allegations, the disappointing response, and the lack of real accountability. People were not happy about being reminded of what she did, and they were even less happy about her seemingly positioning herself as someone who's been wronged, rather than someone who caused harm. One person summed it up by saying, "I did not have Colleen Ballinger listening to a song by Taylor Swift called Cancelled and relating to it on my 2025 bingo card, but here we are. I also didn't have Ned Fulmer coming back from being canceled to become a WWE wrestler on my bingo card, but here we are. Love this timeline." So whether we'll be getting another reaction to any songs called Cancelled in the future remains to be seen, but I'm guessing probably not after this response. The internet has made it very clear that they're not ready to let Colleen rehabilitate her image, especially not through identifying with songs about being canceled. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about all of this. Do you think Colleen should have known better than to post this? Is she trying to play the victim? Or do you think there's any part of the song she can legitimately relate to? Are people being too harsh? Or is this exactly the kind of accountability we need to see? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and send this to a friend who's been following the drama as hard as we have. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!